All righty. So we have a meeting. This is Frederick and Elitom. We are here at home. I want to just talk about general things, just general questions, and especially our plans ahead as Elitom is still in Kenya. The time that is going, even when he's gone, when he comes back, you already know that we have we chose November because we wanted people to be able to prepare well before that time reaches, and we wouldn't want to do things so impromptu. And also the other thing is we have seen it's much better as we are going towards that November, because that's going to be our big day. We also do the monthly online retreats. This continues till we do the November. After November, we'll tell you the way forward, because we'll have met and we'll have seen each other. So now which direction it's taking. But from the way we started April till October, all these months we're just going to be at the beginning of the month. We have our online retreat that is just 7 days. Then we also agree, I think this Elitom will tell you the good reason for it. Instead of 21-day retreat on offline, the one that we are face to face, we are going to do 14 days, like we are going to do 2 weeks, because the good reason is that it is going to be too much for most of people, and there's no good reason to go that long. This is something that is achievable within this time that we have. Then if we continue with the practice monthly, and then you do your homework, you know, the first week of the month, you are with Elitom, and then you have the other 3 weeks to do your practice, continue cultivation. So you keep on engaging yourself, and also looking at your thoughts and beliefs, things that help us, is going to help you a lot to transition. So our monthly fast continues normal, but we are transitioning even our knowledge and our practice. And when we're doing our monthly fast, we do it according to how you feel. You have accepted the truth. We are not forcing anyone. We are not even telling you the dates, like you have. So this is what I needed to inform you about. But then Elitom can talk about something that I think is so precious, about what we started to discuss today. We started to discuss something about carnivore diet, and we don't want to talk about diets much, but we wanted to know. We want to know to relate to them, because it's not just about carnivore. Don't also want to get so into it, to a little touch, yeah. Then on. So it's
right.
There's a lot of debate, and it doesn't end. Somebody says vegetarian is the best. Then vegetarian is another comes the best. Anyway, all of them, they try to show you in some things, but then used a long-term thing, then it's trouble. So that's what you need to have knowledge. Is power, so that we don't get into trouble in the future. We don't want to cause trouble in your health and confusion. That is it. So you're welcome.
All right. So thanks for that good explanation. We're in an age now, this is a good age we live in, but this is an age where we have the most changes than ever before. The most diet, you got rice diet, you got cereal diets, you got fruit diets, you got, hold on, that you're so we got all these different types of diets. I could go on and on and on in this age that we're in. And the reason being because we are growing as humanity. However, by me physically traveling around the world, one thing I noticed that every different region has basically their own different dishes that they're living in. See, what makes us so special as being humans is that we were able to migrate all over the planet, more so than any other animal. And we adapted to the environments and the foods that were there. So that's bottom line. So in this age of, how should we say, diet changes that we're in, I can see that's coming out. Especially most of them are out there because of two things. One is for weight loss, because humanity we have more food than ever before, especially in most locations like first world countries. And now we got the new thing of raising your vibration. Diet does have something to do with your health, even though you might have access to all these different foods. And that's the main two reasons why we got all these diet changes. Now, when we go into which one is the best for the human being, you really can't go cut across the board like that, because we're dealing with different genetics, different regions. All of this stuff does play on your diet changes. But the main goal should be health. If you keep health in front of you, you could go further instead of being real rigid on yourself. So I remember on my journey, there was a time I was eating a standard American diet, 3 meals a day, well, 5, and snacks in between. So I started to get overweight and understand that that type of eating and that behavior was doing me harm. I had to come into that realization and accept it. But as I moved on, I cut the denser foods, and denser foods is usually the meats, what we call vegetarian or vegan, and I started merging these diets, but I even didn't stop there, because a lot of people do. There was this group that said the vegan diet is the divine diet of God, but their leader, I got relatives who's living longer than him. Right, they don't even care about diet. So we can't be rigid. However, did those diet changes help me on my journey? Yes, they did. Whenever you make a change into something that's lighter, you should have some improvements if you don't go too fast and abuse it. Did that make sense? So then I wanted to, and when I went to different diet changes beyond veganism, it was for scientific exploration reasons. Because my health was already good. I wanted to see what this was about and all this other good stuff. So I had a summertime where I ate nothing but fruits. I had juicing. Let me see what this juicing over a period of time to do. And let me try this, let me try that. Because we're experiencing and exploring. Now, was one better than another? Oh, now was one actually better than the other? Not really. Because again, everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to be different. And there's other factors at play. So some people just go into a diet and expect all of these things to come out, because let's be real. I know people who did go into fruitarianism or whatever, and they talk to me in secret because they don't want to talk to other people. Why is my energy so low? Now, I didn't go through all of this problem because by me teaching a breatharian message, you bring in a whole package in there. Not only you bring in diet changes, I was also exercising. Meditation is the foundation, what gets you another energy source. So that's a whole nother ball game. And I also was watching my thought process, and I also was continually practicing fasting. Most people, I just got a new student, and this is how they usually start out. I fasted for 21 days before I did this fast over here, but it's all over the place. So I tell people to fast once a week, because what you're doing is you're programming the body to be consistent. That makes the ball game. People who's all over the place just because you did something, that's not going to program the body for long term. The body is going to do what you do frequently, and that's it. So that's why you are gradually and slowly transforming into something else. Now let's go into the carnivore diet, eating all meat. Now for number one, can a human being eat all meat? Well, apparently so, because there's humans who's doing it. Can't say they didn't, number one. Number two, can they or should they do it for the rest of their life? Scientifically, it's bad for you. Scientifically, it's bad for you to sit up there eating all meat for the rest of your life. And I'm just not making it up. Heart problems will arise, high cholesterol, and all this other stuff. I could go on and on and on over a period of time. So that's just like anything in life. Can a human being drink wine? Yes. But should you drink it every day? Ah! You see what I'm getting at? Anything too much will become explosive. Now there's a man named Dr. Atkins, and he came out with the Atkins diet. Now I remember when I was eating more fruits and stuff like this, so I was on this health kick with that mind, it got to be this way. But one day there was a friend of mine, he weighed like 300 pounds, which is 150 kilograms, big man. He had big height too, so he was walking, boom, boom, boom. But one day I saw him lose some weight. I seen him transform. What are you doing? And you know what he said? Oh, I'm on an Atkins diet. And I said, what is that? I'm eating all meat. Now, back then, I didn't want to hear that because we got our belief systems. You ain't supposed to eat meat, but I had to admit, he looked it good. How is it working? What's that about? And he was telling me he was eating, eggs and, just all meat. He was telling me the diet, but within a week, though, he said, but it's really hard to eat it. This is what he told me from his experience. Because I guess eating that denseness, you got to chew more. I can see that. First, it was starting out good for him, but after a while, he was saying it's very hard. This is what he said. However, he was losing that weight and blah, 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 blah. But what I noticed down the line was he couldn't maintain that frequency. And not only he gained back that weight, it even got more. But anyway, most people do that. So was it the diet or was it the discipline? Most people do that anyway. A lot of people in the first world country loses a lot of weight, but only a small percentage can actually maintain it. Now, why is that? Because some people understand that it's a lifestyle. If you don't so you could do all types of processes to change the body, but maintaining it means you got to continue to do that. That's why a lot of people can't maintain the breatharian message. Oh yeah, you can get there to a place where you get more energy and life force and heal yourself, but can you maintain it? Because a person has developed a lifestyle. So and that's like a program. So you're just going to go back to that last program because that's all you know. That's what it becomes hard. But anyway, going back to the carnivore diet, it's actually the Atkins diet, but you also have the keto diet. You could go look that up. And the keto diet, again, is eating a lot of protein, heavy protein, which is the meats and stuff like this. But there is a little difference between the Atkins diet and the keto diet. Because the keto diet, that name is, they want to get you in a ketosis state. So your body could give off more ketones and all of this, which are energy sources. So there is science behind it. But again, does a person supposed to be that for the rest of their life? No. It'll be bad and hard on the system over time. But those diets were brought up for weight loss purposes. Weight loss purposes. Now, the highest diet on record, all we can do is do the statistics, is the Paleolithic diet. Now, Paleolithic, why did they name it that? Well, in the human history, there's different time periods in human history. We brought up agriculture about 10,000 years ago. There was time that all of humanity were hunter-gatherers and stuff like this, and we go way back. But there was a time called the Paleolithic time, and I used to always say this, we got the same body as our Paleolithic ancestors right now today. Right now today. Back when they was hunter-gatherers, back before then. But was they just picking apples off the tree? I know we got that in our imagination. But keep in mind, we migrated all over the planet, and there were some places that had no fruits and vegetables like that. Let's be real with it. There were some places like, let's say Europe, it didn't have pineapples and oranges and strawberries. All that stuff got shipped there later. I've been on islands where bananas was his number one produce, but come to find out when you look at the history, there was a time bananas wasn't there. You see where I'm getting at? So we made this happen. All right. But we are opportunists due to our brain size. So we ate bugs, we ate anything we could get our hand on, we ate the scraps of other animals who left something. Yeah, we did. It's just that real. Because we're after energy. That's what it boils down to at the end of the day. We're after energy. So what you want to say to yourself, well, let's go back to the Paleolithic diet. However, that was the time period where they say humans were the healthiest. Because of course, food being scarce, you wasn't doing agriculture, you wasn't storing food in a refrigerator or a freezer. You had to get it as you go. If it wasn't there, even a human being by its nature could go a long time without food. Did you know that? It ain't even called fasting. When push come to shove, you could go a long time without food. That's why you want to train yourself back to be in that nature again, because that was the reality of it back then. But people were lean, they had strong muscle mass, we walked a lot, you was outside a lot, whole different the Paleolithic time. So that's why there's a thing called the Paleolithic diet. But however, there's a diet that's even more stronger than that, as they say, and it is the Mediterranean diet. The Mediterranean diet, because people in that region around the Mediterranean, especially Greece and stuff like this, statistically, they do got longer lifespans than most people. We gotta say it. Is it the way they're eating? If that got something to do with it, well, yeah. Let's say it what it is. Now it's more. It has a lot of vegetables, but and it also has fish in it. You understand? But again, it could be the region. There's many other factors, to come into play. But that's rated, the Paleolithic and the Mediterranean are similar, but those are rated as the highest. Now let's get deeper into it, because it's all about energy again. And when you understand this, what the breatharian message is talking about is there's more subtle energy forces. This is what the breatharian knowledge is teaching you, because it's all about energy. And if you know how to tap into those subtle forces, the body is satisfied and it don't need the denser energies. But you really got to get taught on that. That's what teaching is all about. It's not a belief system, because I always meet people who join my classes and they think if I really believe it, trying to make it into another religion, but it is not. This is a science all the way. You're dealing with the laws of physics. You're not breaking no laws, but you must recondition your body or take part in your evolution, which means adaptation. Adaptation and evolution is the same thing. Evolution just means change. So you are changing yourself, transforming yourself into a new lifestyle, not a process of a weekend, 21 days. That was a direct failure. Because keep in mind, whatever habit you practice, it becomes stronger and stronger. And haven't you been eating all your life the denser subtle forces? That's a strong thing to break. So that's why it's going to take time, patience, effort, knowledge, discipline, all of this stuff in order to transform yourself over a period of time. And everybody, it will vary. Some people are more probably got a better situation than others. All of this comes into play. However, it's still working with the light. What is the light? The electromagnetic field, which is created by the sun. Let's be real with it, cosmic solar energy. Just by us seeing each other right now on this video, that's possible due to the sun. So this is why we call it the solar breatharian knowledge, to bring you back in to know that this energy is here with us. And through meditation, you can learn to start cultivating yourself in that diet or on that journey. So again, diet changes, because when I first started out, I had a thing called food alchemy. So what you're doing in your life, depending on where you're at, you get on these different diets, and to make diet, food is not for the body. I always teach this. Food is for the mind. A diet change is for the mind, because it's discipline. You got all this food on the table. Are you going to eat anything? You can, but when you start disciplining yourself, where I'll take this and this, and that's it. That's what it's doing in your mind. So when you're on a journey, so you go from one diet change to another. Now, I remember when I became a vegan, it was way better than when I was eating anything. All right, made improvements. However, over a period of time, as I was cultivating my energy, doing my energy work, then there's certain foods in the diet, in the vegan diet, that began to feel uncomfortable. So your body will let you know if you feel uncomfortable. So I know I had to make changes to go to something even lighter. So yes, I started eating more raw fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, but it wasn't food. It was due to me energy cultivating. But these are vibrations, and that food is vibration. So I go, well, certain vibrations, because you could get higher than any food on the planet. The food is a gift. This is heavy. You can vibrate higher than any food on the planet. So when you make food your God, you're going to come to that roof and you're going to have a roof on you. So that's why, and don't take this wrong, most spiritual / health people, most, not all, can have the tendency to lie. Now, why do I say that? Because, okay, you can promote a diet for a while, but if it start making you feel uncomfortable, let everybody know. And just don't go and take that to the grave through stubbornness. Look how many people who did teach health messages and they're no longer with us. And they were sick for a period of time and didn't tell nobody who was following them. So they have a tendency to get you trapped in the lie. So what we're saying is when you make a diet change, make sure it's benefiting, number one. And as it's benefit you and you grow into it and it's time to make changes to move on, and when should you do that? Not when you want to, when your body tells you to. I remember a guy one time, we was in a vegan community, he didn't want to drink no soy milk. Somebody said, why? It's not cow's milk, it's good for you. He said, but it's giving me real bad gas. He said, my body is telling me this is no longer good for me. You see how we're looking at it now? Get to learn how you really feel. And like the guy who was eating all fruits, Elitom, I don't get that much energy. I said, because I teach meditation is the foundation. See, the fruits alone, let's be real with it, did not give you that strength and that energy you thought you was going to get. But when you start cultivating the energy flow, see those lighter foods and it goes to you faster, we got that. But on the solar breatharian knowledge, and this is how I got to teach, so I just can't go all over the place, is through the meditation because it hooks you up with the light. Oh man, any questions?
That was good.
Oh man.
There's a question, but not related to what you have just handled. It's a different one on what we call flashing.
Flashing
Of the gut. Like
flushing.
Yeah, when people do the salt flash or they use something to get.
Oh, detoxification of the gut. Oh, but wait a minute. Let me add this on and I'll go into it. All right, we was talking about the Mediterranean diet, the Paleolithic diet, and I brought up those. Now there is a breatharian diet. And they call it the Bigu diet. The Bigu diet. B-I-G-U, I believe. And that's the Chinese word for breatharian, basically. Now, what is a breatharian diet? Now, when people come to me for training, I don't teach them to go from here to food freedom. You're not going to last. But you need to start eating less. How much less? Well, look at your current diet, how much you eat. You might have to break 10% less, 15% less. You understand? He who eat less live longer. However, a breatharian diet is basically a low-carb diet. Low-carb diet, because the number one energy source that average human being eats is carbohydrates. Am I right? Carbohydrates. That's your number one fuel source. Then you got fats, then you got lipids or proteins, but carbohydrates come first. So in a Bigu diet, when you look it up, people stop eating grains. Grains could be bad for the body, as they say. But keep in mind, this came at the time in human history when we started mastering agriculture. And what did we start planting? Wheat and stuff like this. So they're saying to leave that alone because it makes you hungry. It stays in the body a lot longer. You know, this is what they say. But that's actually, the breatharian diet is a low-carb diet. And it ain't far-fetched. This is why humanity is helping everybody. Humanity is helping everybody because there was a time you didn't know what carbs was until that started coming out on the scene on the diet. Watch your carbs. Eat less carbs. So they was actually giving you the system, the breatharian diet. So you're eating less carbs and all this other stuff that won't feel bloated. It could go through the body a lot quicker. There's some foods that make you hungrier for that food again and all this other stuff. But it's basically a low carb diet. So going back to the Paleolithic diet, it's a low carb diet. The Bigu diet is a low carb diet. And now when you dealt with and the Mediterranean diet is basically a low carb diet. So carbs is the number one thing that you're minimizing so your body can start burning the fats and all this other stuff as energy sources instead of going straight to the carbs. Now let's get into, he said something about salt flushes and flushing your gut and all of this. Well, I got to teach this. When you look at the foundation of the breatharian journey, you got diet, you got exercise. Those are the first two initiations. I was just talking to a man and he wanted to know more, but I'm looking at his body. You need to start working on your diet and exercise before I waste my time telling you more, because some people are just curious, but I don't have time for that. Do this and then come back to me. That's not being mean, but you're being real with people so they can do something. You got to do something. This isn't a belief system. So you got diet, you got exercise, you got fasting, you got meditation, and you got working on your thought process. Now let's talk about detoxification. All of these things detoxifies the body. When you change your diet, don't properly, from the foods before to now, you just did a detoxification. You eating less, you're doing a detoxification. The gut should go down. Oh, did I say this? Then we get into exercise. Not only it builds muscle, make you stronger, it detoxifies the body. You start sweating out toxins, your heart start beating harder to get that blood pumping through the body. It gets rid of toxicity, your immune system gets strengthened. You use the bathroom a lot more better and it solves constipation. That's detoxification. That'll flush the gut. So if you put those two together, because there's some people who do a diet and don't exercise. They have improvements, but it's limited. There's some people that exercise and don't change the diet. They have improvements, but it's limited. But if you put both of them together, that's powerful. Boom. Then we got fasting. Not over fasting, not overdoing it, but you should have a routine of fasting at least once a week. And we're in an age now where the system is helping you again. They're telling you intermittent fasting. But they're telling you you don't need to eat all throughout the day. That's overeating. Pick a time period throughout the day and eat at that time, or eat 1 meal a day. You won't die. If you do that, that's detoxification. Boom. Now, you could do it by itself, what a lot of people do, but just think if you put all of these together, diet, exercise, and fasting. That's powerful. Now let's get meditation. All meditations are energy tools. If you don't see it as an energy tool, you can be meditating wrong. And I can boldly say this because me traveling around the world, meeting many people on many different levels of spirituality, most, not all, but most don't have a clue what meditation is for. Let's be real with it. But they all work with energy, and meditation detoxifies the body. When you sit there in one position, coming in tune with the mind and the body coming together, you feel aches and pains and all this shaking in the body. Yeah, the body's detoxifying itself. That's the method on how you raise your vibration. So to raise your vibration to go faster from being lower, that means it must detoxify itself. So meditation consistently every day detoxifies the body. Now there's some people who meditate, they don't exercise, they don't change their diet, they don't fast. They can have better improvements if they put this all together. You should change your diet, you should exercise, you should fast, and you should meditate. That's the breatharian knowledge. That's powerful. Last but not least, be more vigilant on your thought process. Your thoughts create your reality. So if they create your reality, go deal with your thoughts. Yeah, I see people that on one level, they look like they got it made, but their life is miserable due to their thinking. That's terrible when you're sitting there, you're looking at the world a certain way and it's all just eating at you. You can't control your emotions. So meditation, again, helps you to sit down, sit with your thinking, observe your thoughts. It's going to take time, but you got to be more vigilant to change this thought process, because your thoughts is a vehicle. And when you start purging your thoughts, that detoxifies the body. Did I say this? Whereas your thoughts have got you eating everything and doing all that other stuff in the first place.
Mm.
So if the thoughts don't change, you ain't going nowhere. You can believe till you blue in the face. This is the laws of physics. Thoughts is the first phase of physical matter. And thoughts is more than just consciously in your brain. Your thoughts is going all throughout your body. You're a robot, like a program. So straight up. So you can consciously say, I'm going to make these changes, but that program is in the body. That's why any changes you make in life, and you want them to be permanent, is going to have to be gradually and slowly to change this whole program. So if you put all of this together, that is power. That's how you detoxify the body. Everything else is tools. We could say salt flushes. Go get some detox tea. It don't matter. Drink some water. Drink some juice for a week. You just detoxified the gut. One thing ain't better than another. Everybody's different. But you got to do something. Don't back up from the table. That's how you detoxify it. Give it time and energy and let it happen.
Really?
So I hope I answered that question once again. And this is good. We're here.
That question is answered perfectly well. And you know, some people have more questions on your lifestyle, but I don't want to go there. I don't want to go to on the side of your lifestyle. Because I saw somebody is asking on YouTube when you did post, is asking about, does he eat even a little, does he eat even a little? And then someone is also replying or answering, does he even use the bathroom? I've been with him, that's Jerome Shaw. Jerome Shaw says he's been with you at a lot of retreats.
Right.
You don't eat, don't drink.
Right.
He's confirmed that. Somebody feels like, oh no, this and that. Why does it take money?
Because it's my time and energy and you wasting it.
Yeah, and you are also having some expenses.
Right.
Sometimes you have to use the money on body.
Exactly. The same mythical.
Yeah, exactly.
The world is running by money. It's not mythical. I'm not going to sit up there serving you. You ain't got nothing to bring to the table. And it ain't trying to, I ain't got a house or a car, so it ain't somebody trying to be greedy. If you can't go get a couple currency, that's an energy right there. If you can't get a couple dollars to invest in this, that means you don't want to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Did I say that? Yeah.
There's a question about, not just a question, just a comment. We talk about it with you every now and then. The strongest energy is a sexual energy and
sexual energy and food. Sex and food, that's what animals do. So sex and food is the two strongest energies. And it's given to you by nature. It ain't bad. How did we all get here? Through sex. Somebody has sex, and this is why we're sitting right here. And then if we got any offspring, what did you do to bring them here? Right. It's just that real. And it controls our life. Your current life right now, if you look at it for what it really is, sex brought you to that point. Think about it. Sex brought you to that point. You're in a current relationship, if you're married, even if you're single, sex got you to that point where you're at right now. And your next decision, if you don't understand how strong sexual energy is, that's what's going to make your next decisions. I hope I said this right. Sometimes somebody could come to you that you really don't like the way they look, and you'll treat them one way, and somebody could be attractive and you'll treat them a whole different way because it's controlling your emotions. We go on and on and on with that lesson. But that's a strong energy, and also food, of course, because you need energy in order to move. Food is energy. You need energy in order to move. So what the breatharian knowledge is saying, this is why meditation is the foundation. If you don't learn how to energy cultivate meditation, you will never be a breatharian. Or did I say that? You got to know how to go get that energy. You got something to do. I know we into this thing of miracles. I don't teach that. Angels coming to you, God. That's not what it's about. You got control. You're taking control over mind mastery of your body, your habits, the way you think, so it can go to these higher forces of energy that's right in your face. Did I say this? It's like if you want bigger muscles, what do you got to do? Lift heavier things repeatedly to grow.
I have another question. The last one, maybe from my side. Yourself, have you met someone face to face who's living the same lifestyle you're living?
Well, there's many people on different breatharian journey, but they're at different levels, different levels and degrees. Now, I don't know because I don't sleep with them.
Yeah, you can't tell.
However, dealing with people's energies, I bet people with high energies doing their thing, so they're doing something to have that type of energy. But the knowledge is out here, more people are coming into it. It's just a holistic lifestyle. Everything I just said is something you can do.
Those 5.
Yeah, you can change your diet, you know it. You can exercise, you know it. You can work on your thought process. You can meditate, and you can fast. Back up for all those things you can do. So if you make that your lifestyle, again, that's not a process. People keep thinking about do this, this, and this. I'm going to become this. When you fully transform, this is something you do automatically. In other words, when I meditated this morning, it wasn't no process to become something. That's what I do every day. You get that? Then I meditate in the evening. That's what I do every day. It's not a lifestyle. That's something I love to do. That's how I charge up. So if you just looking at it, how long I need to do this to become this, you're not going to make it. But if you make it your lifestyle, then you're rolling because your energy will accumulate and grow. Exercise, I was exercising this morning. Why? That's something I felt to do.
And we did a good walk there. Remember, we went up to that feather every day. There's something that happens to you without you knowing. I want to let you know today. When we get into a car, you suddenly fall asleep. Every time. The first time it happened when we were coming from town,
Right.
I thought we were so tired because of the journey. You were coming from all the way from Naivasha. That was on a taxi. Again, we traveled this time when we were going to that hotel, the other side.
Right.
Slept.
Right.
Today, that vehicle, when we were going, we were talking. So you didn't sleep. But we were coming back.
Go
So,
on.
and then I was asked because even that guy called Fred, he was like sleeping. I said, I think because even us, when we get to those vehicles, sometimes they close the windows. There's a lot of carbon dioxide in. Then you feel drowsy. But I felt maybe his body is absorbing.
It's absorbing. That's what it's doing. So why spend energy being awake where there's nothing going on? Right.
So in short, your body switches on and off very fast, depending on the environment.
I don't have to do it, but see, I'm so much into my body compared to the average person. When I'm sitting there, because what is meditation? You sit there, you get comfortable. So I get in the best comfortable position I can. We'll be doing something. Now, we was active talking about something that's different.
Yeah.
But if ain't nothing going on, I just relax and I let the energy absorb. That's all you're doing. Feeding. Because sleep is meditation. Sleep is unconscious meditation. Think about it. Why do you sleep? Why do you pass out? This is something, ain't it? That don't even fit our evolution. Why would the creation make you have to pass out every day? This is why we got ancient cities where we got walls around it. Why? To reset. If we had to watch out for wild animals, other people, we get guards to watch out so everybody else can sleep. We do that today because you need to pass out in order to reset. So sleep is important to go get your energy. Have you ever worked real hard and all this other stuff and you needed your sleep? And when you woke up, you felt refreshed. I needed that sleep last night. You reset it. That was a meditation. That's how you got your energy. Now, they had nothing to do with the food you ate. That wasn't going to keep you to keep going. You needed to sleep to go get that energy. So meditation is conscious sleep. Sleep is unconscious meditation. Meditation is conscious sleep. That's why meditation is so powerful. And the thing about meditation, you get way more energy than you do when you're asleep. So yeah, there ain't nothing going on. I'll set down the system so it can absorb. Because there ain't nothing going on. Why spend unnecessary energy? Ain't nothing going on.
Now,
regarding what entails, you go and introduce yourself. No, you're not alone. Okay. Let's say you are Victor, and then you ask your question because they're just coming in, and the people don't also know you. Hello, guys. I'm Victor from Nairobi. Okay, my question is regarding meditation. How do you narrow down? Because you will find a scenario where somebody is, for example, smoking cigarettes, sees that as his way of meditating. Is somebody who is listening to maybe traditional music, seeing that as his or her way of meditation.
Right. Yeah. Well, you can meditate with music. We're in this age where you can do that now. And but smoking a cigarette, that's his meditation. Nah, that's something else.
Okay.
The basics of all meditations is to relax and get in a comfortable position. That's it right there. To relax. Everything else is just add on, and we're talking and watch your breath, watch your thoughts. Relax and get in a comfortable position. And when you're in that position, your breath will automatically lower itself into the gut automatically because you're relaxing. And that's why they'll say, don't eat nothing, eat or drink nothing, at least a half hour to an hour before you meditate. Because if you got a lot on your gut, your breath won't drop like it should. But they'll do it on its own. Yeah. See, when you relax, the relaxation response of the body allow you to release tension and stress that's inside of the body. Yeah. And I always get people in my class that they got aches and pains in their body when I start showing them. They didn't know it was there before. Because every time we feel a pain, we move out of it. Yeah. But meditation, that's why it's hard for a lot of people. Now, I need you to sit there and don't move. Can't. Right. Because their body hurts. But you got to face it.
What does it relate to hibernation?
Hibernation?
Yeah. Of animals, where animals go without eating and drinking for days, months, like the polar bear.
Well, they got a thing up in Russia. People don't do it as much as they did in the old days. But Russia gets cold. Wintertime is coming. So you'll get a family who will live in this one house, all of them in the same room.
Yes.
To keep the heat, to keep it warm. I've seen this in Korea too, because I've been in Korea before. And everybody get in one room during the winter to stay warm. And they all get to this big bed where everybody sleep in the same bed. But once a day, it's somebody's job to get up and stoke the fire, keep the fire, make the bread. And it's their turn to eat, everybody else don't eat. Something like this, and they make rotations. But that's a level of hibernation for human beings. Now, how long can a human being go without food scientifically? If you look it up and research it, there'll be different agencies. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows. Because there's all different types of circumstances. A person, like if you was to get a group of people, 100 people, and start to don't feed nobody, the people who is already healthier will live longer than the people who already have bad health. Did that make sense? Yeah, healthier vessel. That's why this is a health message. You want to get your vessel as healthy as you possibly can, because that's a sign that you got better flowing energy. Because I know in our minds of spirituality, it ain't got nothing to do with physical, you're unhealthy. You're not going to get that much energy. It's not magic. Get your vehicle as healthy as it possibly can. You ain't competing against nobody else. That's your body. You know exactly how you feel.
Okay. Okay, like today, the modernity, you'll find that people are undergoing a lot of pressure in terms of finances, work-related concerns. Now, unlike in the olden days where people had a different way of life, now you find that today all this pressure is taking a toll on man.
Well,
yeah.
Well, we said,
yet,
go ahead.
God never intended that man live such a life. Yeah, man has gone to an extent that he has a lot of pressure on him, a lot of demands, a lot of needs that he cannot even cope up with.
Well, let's take a look at it.
Bring a toll on the maybe mental health. Yeah.
Now you got
physical health. Mind.
Yeah.
Then it comes to physical too.
Now you got two schools of thoughts. Some people will look at this age we live in and say that the olden days was hard and this is better. Some people.
Most my people, side, I would not say the olden days was the best.
That's what they say. That's their perception. But there's some people will say the olden days was better and today is messed up. But notice that those are thought processes. Where you at? Who's going to do what? But one thing my grandfather said that was real good. He said, make work your friend.
Make work your friend.
Make work your friend. In other words, get a good work ethic. No matter what age you're in, you should be able to prosper.
Wow.
Make work your friend. And that's good to know this because, all right, let's look at the breath theory now. I had to teach a class on this one time. If you ain't got a good work ethic, how are you going to transform yourself? Somebody got to come wake you up, and you can't stay disciplined or meditate. You can't stay with a diet. You can't exercise. That's work. So this is work. You need a good work ethic. Show up on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay consistent. 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. I've been in the game 20 years being consistent. Work ethic. Yeah.
But you see, with the work ethics, we have societies that it is workable. And like in some societies, like today, if you are moving around, you would find that there are those who are doing construction. There are those who goes up to late hours. Now, it is somebody who is putting pressure on them that must be done. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, this person,
it's different from the
kind of, yeah, it is kind of exploitation. We have the systems that are not protecting the work ethics.
Oh yeah, that happens all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Some places worse than others.
Maybe that we can answer with that.
And that's a whole other question. That's a whole other, yeah. And however, when he dealt with finances and this and that, well, when you look at it, your needs really are not expensive compared to your wants.
Mm.
Did I say this? A lot of people get in trouble because of emotional spending. You didn't really need it, and now it brought pain and suffering to the life. In other words, you spent your money wisely. You spent it not wisely at all.
Mm.
But your needs, those could get met.
I've got something.
And that's why.
That part of finances.
Yeah.
We were trying to talk about it a little bit about it.
Yeah. It get you in trouble.
What brings also the stress in the mind of some. How people spend. That discipline you're talking about is also very many.
Yes. Because you could get a person who really got this knowledge, and they can live in a small place, got their needs met, and be happy compared to a person having a whole lot. It's a mindset. Mm-hmm. So that person is rich.
It's a mindset, yes. But here comes a situation. A person is compelled to pull himself or herself out of a situation. Not that the situation is that bad, but to secure himself some
safety. Or change it.
Like living in a slum.
Right.
You strive to get yourself out of that place. Not that the place is not giving you peace, but the people there, you'll find drug dealers, you'll find...
Oh, without a doubt, it's there.
Yeah.
So you ask these questions, but again, that just takes work. There's been slums in the past that transformed, and there's been places that was a good place and it turned into a slum. Not just people again. We ain't got the answers for the whole planet, but for you as an individual, you can move, you can get out of there, and all of this stuff. See, you're rich when you're in a situation that feels uncomfortable, but you got the power to move right now. When you can't move, that's a poverty mentality.
When you can't move.
When you can't move. You can, but there's something going on in your mind when you can't get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
When you're rich, when you don't like it, and this just ain't fitting you,
Okay, so I can
Yeah.
just end it.
Elitom.
That's it.
Okay.
ELI.